Hello again. Welcome back to the channel, The Broken-Hearted Homesteader. We're continuing our journey on throughout Ontario, Canada, and we have arrived. We were just at the Fish and Grill in Fenelon Falls, Ontario, and now here we are still in Fenelon Falls, and this is 15 Clifton in Fenelon Falls. It's called Eugene Place now. And this is the condo that my grandparents had. I'll turn you around here. So this is the condo, and this was their condo. These windows here. My grandmother, this window right here, my grandmother had all her African violets in. And no, that's the dining room. That's the bedroom that the violets were in. Yeah. So we're gonna take a walk down to the falls like my grandfather used to. So we'll catch you in a minute. Okay, so I had to stop the video. It's going to have to be in a couple different parts because as we were filming, the cutest little old lady came along and she was trying to get into her apartment going back home. What did she say? 94? 93. Okay, and so she's so cute. And so we got to talking to her and she wanted to know, like, oh, what are you guys up to tonight? And so we got talking to her, and she is from Burnt River. She knew my grandparents' family and she knew about the lumber mill and everything. So it was so lovely. I believe her name was Dora Dancy. So I'm going to have to look up the family connection and see. So she said she had Phillipses in her family too. So anyway, it was so great. It was so neat. So I'm going to turn you around because this is how my grandfather and I used to walk as a little girl. No, I'm not a little girl. I was like 15. So, but look at this. Okay, so their apartment is there. The condo is right there after the bushes. And we would walk down here. The lady said that the teenagers come here to smoke pot now. So we'll see what we find. But my grandfather and I would come down here. Almost every day we'd come down to the falls and look around. It says it's a fish sanctuary. No fishing allowed. But I used to be so scared because it was so high up, guys, and there's no fence or anything. And we used to come to the bench here and sit down. There was a sign on the tree. I'll show it to you when we go out. I'll show you. Look at this. Okay. This is just like it was. I know, but it's so much better this way. We always used to walk this way. Yeah, we could walk in this bench or we could go to the other bench. But maybe this bench has a good view. I don't know. Maybe the other bench has an even better view. Yeah, it's pretty cold now. But look at, guys, there's Fenelon Falls. Oh my gosh, that's a picture. With the sun setting, oh man. It's so beautiful. Oh. If I could just stop time in this moment. Look. The falls are there, see? If I zoom in. And again, that's all part of the lift lock system in Fenelon. So let's go down to the other bench just for a minute. It's pretty cold now outside and we still want to get to Kinmount, which is another 20 minutes. Here we go. Look at this bench. Man, this might have been the exact bench that we sat on. Wow, look at this. It's metal. I don't know if it has a year. I don't know if it's the same bench, but we'll just pretend it is. Look. Oh man. Look at the sun shining, see? Oh. Wow, that's so great. I used to be so afraid here because there's no ledge or anything. You could just fall right through. Yeah. But look at how beautiful that is. Do you see? And this down here is the main strip of Fenelon where we would walk down for candy and stuff down there where the cars are. Yep. We'd walk down to the little, I think it was Becker's maybe, and get candy. But look at how beautiful that is. Oh, wow. So another piece of my history logged here. It was so lovely to meet the lady who actually knew my family, right? It's so crazy. So we're gonna stop freezing to death and head on to Kinmount now that we've seen the condo. But I thought I would share it with you guys too, another piece of my history. A little bit more about the broken-hearted homesteader. As a child, I was 15. Like I said, I was 15. I think they moved here probably I was 13. Yes, because my grandmother passed when I was 13. Both of my grandfathers passed when I was 13. So maybe they moved here when I was 12. And then we moved to Ennismore after that. We were still living in Kinmount when my grandmother passed. And then we moved to Ennismore. And my grandfather used to come up to Ennismore. He'd drive his Cadillac and he'd come up to Ennismore, and he bought us a riding lawnmower so we wouldn't have to push the lawnmower, because my dad always made us do the lawn. So my grandfather didn't like that very much. So he bought us a riding lawnmower in Ennismore because we had a pretty big lawn. But yeah, my grandfather was very generous. He was always spoiling us.
Grow over a little more, nobody would be able to sell.
Yep. Oh, you saw the fish. You saw the fish sign? Okay, so we're walking back up. I was just telling you about my grandmother and her African violets in the guest bedroom. So I think it must be 2 condos on either side of the door, and then maybe one at the end, because there's only 3 windows per condo. Anyway, the Sharps were my grandparents' best friends once they moved in, and they played cards. They used to live downstairs. That lady might have lived in their apartment actually. But they used to play euchre, and we would play cards with the Sharps. And we were always together. Mrs. Sharp was a wonderful older lady. So anyway, that is the tour of our little memory lane trip with my grandparents, their final home. Here's one last look. Many, many, many wonderful moments. My little cousin Lance would ride his bike down the hill and come and play with me. And I would stay here with them. See how it breaks? And then there's, I think, another condo the other way. I don't think there's 2 windows. I think there's only 3 windows that belong to each condo. Yep. Anyway, so that's that evergreen place it's called now. And the lady said that parts of the inside have gotten a little bit in need of repairs, but they have new owners now, and so the new owners are undertaking some of those repairs to spruce it back up. But from the outside it still looks the same, exactly the same. So that's that. My grandfather's condo.